Maybe you clicked on this video because you are curious on why I think not being able to read and write like everybody else is going to play to your advantage. Let me tell you about my experience very briefly. So 7 years ago, I made this video. Honestly, it's unbelievably cringe, but there were some good points in the video. Should we have a watch? Oh my word. I can't believe I thought this was funny. Oh gosh, it's just so bad. I mean, the main message of the video is that if you have dyslexia, you're not thick, you're just different. And that is still true. But my biggest issue with this video, believe it or not, isn't how cringe it is and how awful it is and how terrible it is. Please don't watch it. But it's that dyslexia is framed in a negative way. And actually, I don't believe that anymore. I think dyslexia is not only a good thing, but I think it's a gift. And not even just a gift, but a superpower. Let me get into why I think this. So growing up, I believed that I was less than average, subpar, not very intelligent, genuinely not smart. Like, I genuinely believed that I wasn't intelligent because I couldn't read or write very well. I couldn't take on information very well. I found common academic practices incredibly strenuous and tedious. My intelligence and self-worth was determined by a result I got in a test at school. And the real world is just not like that. I do wish that someone would have said the thing I am about to say to you. Firstly, if you have dyslexia and you're anything like me, you kind of believe that you're not an academic. And that you're just not one of those people that do that. You're different. And you just think that that kind of thing is for other people, and other people will do that. You know, people that go to Oxford. But the thing is, that is a lie. When I left university, I started watching video content on YouTube to help me learn about filmmaking. I was absolutely blown away at the information I was able to retain. I learned everything I needed to know about becoming a filmmaker and photographer by watching YouTube videos on it. And without the pressure of a written exam or someone talking at me and asking me to perform there and then in a lesson, I was actually able to excel at that. I felt like I'd unlocked this ability to be able to learn on steroids. But it doesn't stop there. It actually got better for me. I've never been much of a book reader. I've always struggled with that. And people keep giving me books as presents. I mean, maybe I look like one of those guys that needs to read more. I don't know. I would just get to the end of a page and think, holy smokes, what have I just read? I also feel like I can't concentrate long enough to be able to get into a book, to be able to retain the information that I'm digesting. Well, what about audiobooks? Last year I said to myself, man, I watch way too many YouTube videos. So I decided, I'm going to read more. But when I read more, I just found it frustrating. So I tried audiobooks. And wow, my dyslexic superpower was coming into play again. I realised I could basically listen to audiobooks and take in the information without, well, really putting in any effort whatsoever. I realised that I could listen to audiobooks and do other things at the same time. I felt like I could take on a wealth of information by basically putting in no effort at all. I became one of those people where I started a sentence with, I read this book recently. And it wasn't about a book I'd been chipping away at for like 2 years, and I just wanted to say it because it sounded impressive. Now you're probably thinking, how does this affect me? Why does this information help me? Am I saying to listen to audiobooks or to watch YouTube videos in an effort to learn? I'm partly saying that, but just hold on. The point I'm making is that we learn in different ways. Now you need to ask yourself this question and answer honestly. Do you know the best way that you learn? Have you figured out the best way you learn? Maybe you haven't asked yourself that question, and maybe you think that learning is just sitting in a class and writing and reading in a classroom environment and copying words off a whiteboard and taking home homework. Ugh. But maybe you have discovered a new method of learning, but because it wasn't strenuous or difficult, you assume that that doesn't count. And because of this, you've just dismissed it. Think about a subject that you really love. So for me, this is Lord of the Rings, right? I love Lord of the Rings. I have loved it ever since the original trilogy came out. And I have actually read the trilogy recently via audiobook. For you, it might be something like a sport, or woodwork, or engineering, or makeup, or politics. And I'm sure you know lots about that subject because you find it interesting. Well, you need to ask yourself, why? My point is
is that it's likely that you picked that thing of interest, or that it took your interest because you found it easy to learn about it. Why is that? Maybe it's because learning about that was easy. Why is that? Maybe because that method of learning is actually easier for you. Have you ever thought about that?
Now think about it. How did you learn about it? Did you watch it on television? Did you do it yourself? Did you build it yourself? Whatever the answer is to that, you need to implement that into your life.
Your professional value is not based on whether you can pass a test or not, unless you're a doctor, but is more determined by what value you bring, or like what problem you solve.
Someone needs to hear this, right? You're not stupid. In fact, you're a genius. You just have a different way of solving the puzzle. My preferred method of learning is visual audio. Maybe yours is different. My absolute worst is verbal and linguistic learning. I would encourage you to research and explore the different options of learning to see what suits you best. I think it genuinely might surprise you. But why is dyslexia a superpower? You may struggle with reading and writing, but you will excel in another area of learning. You just need to find out what that is. Learning doesn't have to be a boring, monotonous task. It can be enjoyable, exciting, and genuinely improve your life. It doesn't have to be something you dread, but something you look forward to. And when you figure out how to learn and how to enjoy learning, it will have the biggest impact on your life. What you find hard, others might find easy. And what others find hard, you might find easy. Just remember that. If you like this video, maybe you would enjoy a video about how a dyslexic man builds his daily routine. Or maybe you'd be interested to know more about a dopamine detox and what that would include. Either way, check out these videos. But don't subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
See you later, boys!